Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Hari Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare. Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva. Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 19. King Yayati achieves liberation. Text 27 and 28. Sanivasam suhridam prapayam iva gacchatam vigya yeshvara tantranam maya virachitam prabho sasannivasam suhridam prapayam iva gacchatam Vigyayeshvara tantranam maya virachitam prabho sasanivasam suridam iva gacchatam Jesus. Sasanivasam suhridam. Gachatam. Virachitam. Virachitam tam. Sasanivasam suhridam. Prapayami vagachatam. Gayeshvara tantanam. Virachitam prabhu. Sasanivasam suhridam. Vagachatam. Vigayeshvara tantrana. Maya virachitam prabhu. Sa Devayani Sanivasam, living in the association. Suhridam, of friends and relatives. Prapayam, in a place where water is supplied. Iva, like. Gachatam, of tourists on a program for going from one place to another. Vigaya, understanding. Ishvara Tantranam, under the influence of the rigid laws of nature. Maya Virachitam, the laws enforced by Maya, the illusory energy. Prabhu, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, Devayani, the daughter of Shukracharya, understood that the materialistic association of husband, friends, and relatives is like the association in a hotel full of tourists. The relationships of society, friendship, and love are created by the Maya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead exactly as in a dream. By the grace of Krishna, Devayani gave up her imaginary position in the material world. Completely fixing her mind upon Krishna, she achieved liberation from the gross and subtle bodies. Purport: one should be convinced that he is a spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Brahman, Krishna, but has somehow or other been entrapped by the material coverings of the gross and subtle bodies, consisting of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. One should know that the association of society, friendship, love, nationalism, religion, and so on are nothing but creations of Maya. One's only business is to become Krishna conscious and render service unto Krishna as extensively as possible for a living being. In this way, one is liberated from material bondage. By the grace of Krishna, Devayani attained this state through the instructions of her husband. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's a really sensitive topic, but anyway. Srimad Bhagavatam is expounding the highest truth. Srimad Bhagavatam is not giving some ideas on materialistic dharma. So Srimad Bhagavatam is going straight to the point, like it's not beating around the bush. And this family, there's some dharma, but and these many people in the material world, this is family is very important, you know, like very important. It's my family, my own blood. Yeah. But Srimad Bhagavatam has not such a good opinion of this. This is so important in the material world, but from spiritual perspective, family is really not so important. So we have a few examples. We have this example given by Devayani, who realizes that this is like... And then you have example from Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj had 1 million wives. Many wives. 1 million or 10 million, I don't remember. And she didn't have a child. So he was very upset. And the Angira Muni came and he said, I want a child. I have to have a child. I'm a king without a child. And Angira Muni could have given him spiritual knowledge, but he wanted a child anyway. And so he said, yes, we can do, but we'll call him Harshashoka. It will be a source of a lot of happiness and distress at the same time. I said, yes, people in the material world say, yes, just bring the happiness and with the distress we'll see later. No problem. We'll deal with it when it comes, no problem, just bring the happiness. So eventually they did something and one of the queens got pregnant and they got a child. And then Maharaj Chitraketu was ignoring the other wives. You imagine you have one wife which is the favorite and 9,999,999 wives which are not happy. It's it's a huge mess. So eventually the other wives had enough and they said, okay, we'll kill this child. So they poisoned the child. And then the distress came, and Maharaj Chitraketu was in such a depression. And usually depression is good, you know, like when people are suffering, it's good time for spiritual advancement. So this time Angira Muni came with Narada Muni said, okay, we're gonna give you the full-on philosophy now. You weren't ready last time, but now you're suffering, you should be a bit more detached. So they give him some philosophy. And one of the very nice things which happens there is they bring back the dead child. And they say to the dead child, please come back and see your parents. And the dead child says, he says, according to the results of my fruitive activities, I, the living being, transmigrate from one body to another, sometimes going to the species of the demigods, sometimes to the species of lower animals, sometimes among the vegetables, and sometimes to the human species. Therefore, in which birth were these my mother and father? So he's like, okay, I had so many mothers and fathers, you know, like so many millions of lifetimes, so many mothers and father, and now this mother, that mother, this father, that father. So which one? And each time we think, oh, this is very, very important, you know. Like, but actually, this is really... Oh, and he says, he gave another example. He says, in this material world, which advances like a river that carries away the living entities, all people become friends, relatives, and enemies. Nonetheless, despite these various transactions, no one is permanently related. So sometimes this life we have some family, next life we have some other family. So it's not really so important. They sometimes give also the example of water bubbles, in the river. Sometimes they meet and they are like close, and then sometimes, or like in similar to what Devayani is saying here, people meet in they had this how do you call it? A sort of a hotels, like they had also, and people meet there and they meet for one day and they are best friends forever. And then the next day they leave and then they never meet again. So that's like family. So the idea is, if we really want to do something for our families, we have to become Krishna conscious. That's and maybe even try to help them become Krishna conscious. I mean, if they are open, probably, maybe not. And they might not agree, like they might think, oh, why this my child is wasting his time, like I prefer that he's an alcoholic than a Hare Krishna. This picture the devotee made, like there was this devotee in his room, and he's chanting, and his parents come, and they say, we want you to know that if you want to become a drug addict again, we're completely fine with that. So they would be happier if he would be a drug addict than a Hare Krishna. So most of the the people are maybe not there, but close, like. So, but actually, if we really want to do something for them, even if they don't appreciate it, we can become Krishna conscious. And you have this example, classic example with Prahlad Maharaj. His father is #1 non-devotee, and he gets killed by Lord Nrsimha. And Lord Nrsimha said to Prahlad Maharaj, "Can I give you a benediction?" She said, "Yeah, maybe you can do something for my father also. I mean, he is my father. That's rascal, but he's my father." And Lord Nrsimha says that because he was born in that family, 21 generation in that family were liberated. So that's the benefit. Of course, you have to become a pure devotee, like Prahlad Maharaj. But that's the benefit they get. They get so much spiritual benefit just by being related to some devotee. Mostly because they have this appreciation for this devotee in some way. And in Bhagavad Gita, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that, quotes this verse from 11th canto, and he says that, which says that actually, if you take shelter of Krishna, then you don't have any other duties. There's no more duties towards family, towards saints, there's so many duties in the Vedic culture. But of course, this comes with this disclaimer, like where sometimes we have this, you read this verse, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja Mamekam Sharana Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayashami Navashujaha. Okay, good. So I have to abandon all the dharmas. Good, perfect. So this is something easy to do. Like, yes, I abandon all dharmas. But then it says also, yes, but you have to surrender to Krishna. And then you're excused of the other dharmas. So this comes with a disclaimer. All this, that you don't have any duties towards family if you become a pure devotee, yeah, of course. Then, sure. But then we should really try to become pure devotees. Because otherwise, if you abandon all the duties and don't do your spiritual duties, then you're on the stage which is called vikarma. So it's not, you're not making advancement. Anyway, so this was a bit about family. So here Devayani and King Yayati were enjoying for a long time in family life, and then they realized, oh, we are just wasting our time, and we might not have so much time to enjoy the material world, and then realize, oh, I was just wasting my time. So that's why Srila Prabhupada in the report, and all the time Srila Prabhupada is trying to instill this sense of urgency. Do something now. Don't leave it for later, like many times you go in Sankirtan, you meet these young people, they are, later, now we enjoy a bit, and later. And then you meet these people who are working and they have families, and like, no, I have families, maybe later. And then you meet these old people, and they are also, they're like, no, the young people should do it. Okay, it's always later, so Srila Prabhupada is always trying to instill this sense of urgency. Do something now. Now, don't leave it for later. And so that's why we have so many programs. That's why we have Prabhupada Marathon, that we have this, we try to do something now. And that's really a huge opportunity to do something. And of course, Krishna says everyone who's participating gets a benefit. But there is a but. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So that's the principle. That you can participate, but according to how much you put yourself in, that's what you get. Krishna is just giving according to what we give, and it's not so much about how many books you distribute or so on. I distributed 2,000 books. Wow, yeah, it is in some way because. What's his name? There's this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it says that unless empowered by Krishna, you cannot propagate the Sankirtan movement. So of course, if you distribute 2,000 books, then there must be some empowerment by Krishna. But there's also other indicators, it's not just that, you can also say that one indicator is how long are you gonna go, okay, you go 1 day, 2 days, 1 day you do 200 books, second day you do 200 books, next day you stop, you're like, you go back to your material life. So it's also that, but the most important is the consciousness you put in this, because actually this yagya, and yagya is meant to purify, and it's meant to purify the others. Yes, of course, there's a huge benefit. Srila Prabhupada would always be very happy when he would hear Sankirtan scores. But yagya is also meant to purify ourselves. So the result of this yagya is that we become more pure, more Krishna conscious, and there should be this urgency, and then there should be also this spirit of self-sacrifice, because this is austerity. This preaching is an austerity, and we should have a bit of this spirit of self-sacrifice. We heard about this classical lila with Lord Nityananda preaching to Jagai and Madai. They are hitting him, the Madai, I think, and he's bleeding, and he says, yeah, I mean, what's done is done, no problem, but please chant Hare Krishna. so this kind of spirit of self-sacrifice, like taking some difficulties to help others. There's also one classic example is Ramanujacharya. His guru gives him a secret mantra. He gets this secret mantra, and his guru says, everyone who chants this will be liberated, or something like this. And but if you tell the mantra, this is a secret mantra. So if you tell it to anyone, you'll go to hell. And says, okay, sounds like a deal. And then he goes to the market. They didn't have. They go to this Preshernov. He gets this huge amplifier. Hey, everyone, come closer. I will tell you a secret mantra. Mantra that will get you liberated. Everyone will get liberated if you hear this mantra. I said, yes, everyone coming. He tells them this mantra. And then his guru finds out and like, what are you doing? I told you if now you'll have to go to hell. I said, yeah, the Ramanujacharya said, yes, of course. If I have to go to hell, but these people are liberated, that's good. I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem, And this, we'll just go to the next example. But these people are serious. They don't. They're not just saying jokes. Sometimes devotees hear of these examples and they're like, "Yes, I'm willing to go." Because it's inspiring. Yes, I'm willing to go to hell for the sins of others. And then they catch a little cold and like, oh, that's too much. So it's not to be imitated, this personality actually mean it, they are serious about it. And then you have, of course, you have Vasudeva Datta, who goes to Lord Chaitanya and says that he's willing to accept all the sinful reactions of all the living entities. Of all, all. You must imagine that this must be a lot of sinful reactions. If you just count like 8 billion people on this planet, who's willing to take the sinful reaction of everyone? I even heard that there was some aspiring devotee who wanted to. He was a surgeon and he was doing these abortions. That was his job before becoming a devotee, and he was doing this for many years. And then he approached a few spiritual masters, and they said, "No, thank you. We're not taking it as a disciple. This is too much. I'm not taking these reactions." So, someone told me, I think His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj told me something about this. No, I mean, come on. So Vasudeva Datta he's serious. He's like, okay, I will take the reactions of everyone, no problem. And so we should have a bit of this feeling. I'm not saying we should imitate, because we can't imitate this. But we should take a bit of austerity to help the others. if you compare this, like with today it's raining, it's like maybe this is a tolerable austerity. It's a bit cold and there might be a bit of snow and people are just running around, but I'm willing to tolerate this austerity to benefit the others. Yeah, it sounds like something we can do on our level, like we're not gonna take all the sinful reactions of all humanity, but we can do something, like today I have a headache, but I will go out anyway. Yeah, what to do? So this kind of spirit of self-sacrifice needs to be there, if we want to move something. And if we do this, actually, Lord Chaitanya will protect us, because if you see in this example of Vasudev Datta, Lord Chaitanya didn't accept his offer. Lord Chaitanya didn't say yes, okay, you take this, we accept. I mean, he was willing to do it, but Lord Chaitanya actually said that it's not needed. Like it says, if you desire the deliverance of all living entities within the universe, then all of them can be delivered even without your undergoing the tribulations of sinful activity. Krishna is not incapable, for he has all potencies. Why would he induce you to suffer the sinful reactions of other living entities? So, Lord Chaitanya says, yes, I appreciate your feeling, and we should have a bit of that feeling, but he says, it's not necessary. we will liberate them even without that. But the idea is we should have a bit of that feeling, that we're willing to take some sacrifice to help others. And if we do this, we will get some higher taste, like Krishna will respond, Krishna will reciprocate. And if you get this higher taste, this is what saves us, like this higher taste is what actually saves us from many things, because there's many problems. But if you have this higher taste, you can't quit, like you're just not gonna quit, like. And even if life sometimes puts you down, like, and you have some difficulties for some time, this you will remember this higher taste. This is like a ghost, like a ghost. Oh, do you remember this Prabhupada marathon? No, go away. I'm trying to enjoy this material world. Hello, do you remember this Prabhupada marathon? No, go away. Oh, maybe you remember this Padayatra. No, go away. I'm trying to enjoy. I'm a karmi now. No, this taste will haunt you, and you will be forced eventually, like to come back, like okay, this material world is really bad. I'm back. There was Manidhar Prabhu was talking about one devotee. He quit. He was a Sankirtan devotee for some time, and he wanted to quit. So the devotees went at his house, and he was trying to show them that he's not a devotee anymore. So he was smoking. I don't know if he was smoking at that stage, at that point. So he was like, oh, "Look, I'm smoking. I want to get on with my life." So they were like, "Oh, come on, man, you can't. You're a Sankirtan devotee. Forget it." No, I'm a karmi. I'm non-devotee. Yes. So they just got him. They got him. They were more than him. So they got him. And they put him in the Sankirtan van. They stuffed him with prasadam. The next day he was back on the streets. I mean, that's how they do it. They did it in that times. So yeah. Anyway, the idea is that. We should engage ourselves as much as possible in this Prabhupada marathon, and then we will get this higher taste, and then we'll come back. See, like Slajana, she couldn't, she got so much taste last year that she had to come also this year. When she heard Prabhupada Marathon, she was like, oh, okay. So, like that. Okay, I'll stop here if there's some comments, questions, concerns, complaints. Okay, Govinda Priya Mataji. Complaints, okay, good.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. You mentioned in the beginning that these family things that are not so important in spiritual life or something like this. So now I'm a little bit confused. Why Krishna has family, has mothers, not one?
Mothers. I mean, of course, also last phrase of this purport is that Devayani got enlightened by the instruction of her husband, because she got Krishna conscious by the instructions of the husband, you know. So actually, you know, like of course we're talking about Grihamedi, not about Grihastha life, but you know, you have to judge according to the symptoms, not according to what's being said. Sometimes there's like we are Grihastas, and you know, like many times Grihastas act like Grihamedis. So you have to judge if it's a Grihastha life or Grihamedi, like according to how much Krishna consciousness is there. So yeah, that's the point. Yeah, it's Grihastha. There's nothing wrong with Grihastha life, as long as it's Grihastha life. But you know, there's we have to also see if it's Grihastha life, and there is also some challenges in Grihastha life, which yeah, we should really take into account. Like you know, I was thinking at some point, because in Vedic times they had more or less the infrastructure for a proper Grihastha life. And nowadays, especially in the West, we don't have so much infrastructure for this. Like if you're a Grihastha, then you have to get a karmi job, unless, you know, like we have some restaurant, we have some, but many times you have to get a karmi job, and this is not good for your consciousness. It's asat sanga tyaga e vaishnavachara. Association of renouncing association of non-devotees is the symptom of a Vaishnava. So there's some problem. His Grace Sanatana Prabhu was here, and he was speaking about the real problems, you know, like, and he was speaking from the temple. He's living in Vrindavan. So there's some problems, you know, like you're not just like, oh, we're Grihastas. Okay, but there's some practical problems. Okay, do you have to have a karmi job? Yeah, then there's a bit of a problem. I mean, of course, you have to engage yourself according to find yourself a situation where you can be in Krishna consciousness for a long time. But no, this is practical problems, you know, like you'll have a child, you'll send him to school. What school? Where you find a school? That's why we have to have farms. That's why we have to have gurukuls. That's why we have to have this kind of infrastructures that people, devotees, can be grihastas. You know, like you have some children which are supposed to be devotee children, and you send them to karmi schools. It doesn't work, you know, like. Yeah, so anyway, there's family life is in theory not a problem, but in practice there's some challenges which you have to really take into account and really think before you do it, that, is it the proper decision? Anyway, that's a bit the pessimistic view also.
The conclusion is that it is important, but it should be in the right way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it is important. It's if you see the family members as devotees, and if they are really trying to become devotees, then yes, of course, you can help them. You should have relationships with devotees. But
we are here because somebody brought us here. I mean, we had a family which brought us to this world.
Yes, and so you have a duty to your family, and if you do your duty to Krishna, then your duty to your family is automatically. That's this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what it's saying. Yes, of course you have your duty to your family, and if you don't do your duty to your family, then you get some karmic reactions. But if you do your duty to Krishna, then these karmic reactions will solve. But if you don't do your duty to family and not to Krishna, then that's my understanding. Okay. Something else? Some less sensitive. Anyway. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Marathon ki jai.